Hey everyone, thank you for joining us once again for the Minds of Mortgage podcast. This is Kelly Yale, and today I am delighted to be joined by one of my friends, Kortney Lane-Schafers. She is the VP of Growth and Client Advocacy for MMI, which is Mobility Market Intelligence. And she is joining us today to talk to us about all the incredible things that they are doing over at MMI. Kortney, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to it. And yes, good friends
Yeah,
for
that's so.
sure.
When you're in the trenches together, right? In technology, in the mortgage space, I feel like it takes a very specific personality to be able to navigate it without sort of losing your gourd. Would you say that's correct?
Oh, that's absolutely correct. Especially, as we were just chatting, getting ready to jump in here, right? We speak the same language and we try and get the same message out. And yeah, it takes a certain kind of personality for sure.
For sure. Well, tell me, let's I'm so fascinated. Let me back up a little bit. How did you end up here in the mortgage world?
Oh, well, that is just a really kind of just a crazy comical thing, honestly. I ended up in the mortgage world when I first started with SureFire, the CRM, when Mark
Ah,
Green actually owned SureFire. And a good friend of mine worked with the company. And when I was in a position that I was looking to make a change myself, that is where I kind of stumbled into the business. And it was by way of a good friend of mine. And the rest is history. So,
that's
been doing
amazing.
it for quite some time now.
And how did you come to work for MMI?
So, kind of with that, surefire Mark Green days, right? MMI CEO Ben Tierlink originally started the company with it was actually Mobility RE, if you
Yeah,
remember.
I do.
And so back in the day when he was first starting out, he would actually come and join us. He would be in our suite, our hospitality suite, where we would be doing demos. And when he was starting to present Mobility RE, we actually partnered with them. And so Ben would come and do demos. And so I've known Ben for quite some time. And then so that was about 2000, my goodness, like 2012-ish, something around there,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was when that was kind of going on. And then over time, that is when Ben then added to the mix. He added the whole data side, right, which is where the MMI side came in. And the whole mobility market intelligence piece, right, with the intelligent data that was laying over the top of it. And so when he did that, he kind of got his gears in motion and was, chugging along. And he was really selling everything himself and really building the company himself with a very core group of people. And then about 3.5 years ago, he said, I'm ready to take on the market and I'm ready to make a difference. And boy, has he done that. And so about 3.5 years ago, a group of us came in, joined Ben and the original kind of small team of about 5 people. And yeah, so in the last 3.5 years, crazy stuff has happened, right? Because not only are we MMI, but we acquired Bonzo. So now we have our own CRM. And we also acquired MonitorBase. So now we have the monitoring added right on in. And so now MMI is really the ultimate lead to loan growth platform.
I love it. Well, and as you know, I don't even remotely believe in well, first of all, it's hard enough for me to believe in mortgage technology sometimes in general, right? Because for a long time, as you well know, right, it's a lot of people said that they could do a lot of things that they couldn't do. And I have never really believed in using one singular platform for something, right? Like it always seems so strange and siloed to me that we had all these different platforms. And what you're doing is exactly what I think everyone should do, which is look, not only can we help you have a great CRM and communication system and strategy for your business partners, for your consumers, but we should be able to monitor that to look for and develop opportunity. And I think that's what you're bringing with MMI and with MonitorBase.
Oh, 100%. Again, the monitor based piece layered on top of, having the data, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
have the actionable data. data is no good if you don't use it.
Yes.
So again, it's actionable data sitting there waiting for you to do something with it, right? So not only do we have the data for you to find new agent referral partners, find new folks to work with, recruit, all of the above, but if you're a producer, we have all of your data from your
Mhm.
closed loan, transactions. Again, we have the relationships, all of the agents that you've worked with. So we also can monitor, prospects that those agents have, but we have all of this sitting there, right? Now you layer that in again with your CRM. In our case, we're trying to put that all under one umbrella for you. But even if you have a different CRM, you can connect that to MMI, still push all of that actionable data over, right? Have your CRM set and ready. But now with the MonitorBase piece pulled on top of that, layered on top of all of that opportunity that's already sitting there that we are flagging for you regularly, now we're adding that piece and that layer. So the retention, the new opportunities that are going to come up now, just being able to identify. And then additionally, with the monitor based piece that we added, we also have the ability to do predictive alerts.
Hmm.
So now it's not just about, hey, by the way, so and so pulled their credit or so and so, listed their house or whatever. Those things are immediate, flags, right? But with the predictive alerts that Monitor Base offers, now about 90 days before someone's probably going to make some kind of decision, we have behavioral predictions and analytics that we have kind of set in motion that probably about 9 out of 10 times are going to tell you, like, this person's probably getting ready to sell their home, or this person's probably getting ready to do an investment property, or so on, right? So again, layers and layers of different opportunities that we are going to be surfacing up. And yes, putting it all together to where you don't have to log into all these different systems and everything can work as one is exactly what we're trying to do.
Behavioral data has been the hardest component of all of this to put together for those of us who've been in it and kind of been seeing the future for a really long time. Behavioral was always milestones, that can ping us, right? We understand those simple things. But behavioral, that's where the holy grail is to me, right? How can
Oh
you
yeah.
say someone I know is ready, right? Loan officers, real estate agents, they have a hard enough time getting their friends and family to use them for transactions, right? If you don't know what your own friends and family are doing, how are you supposed to have some kind of idea what's going on in your database? And
Right.
that's it, so let me change directions just a little bit with that because I'm interested. The reason that it would be my opinion, how about I'll say it like that? It is my opinion that a forward-thinking enterprise would have a human being who understands from a, whether you want to call it a music conductor, from an architect, from a behavioral standpoint, how to manipulate data to provide opportunities. Because I think that leaving it in individual loan officers and brokers' hands puts too much pressure on them when they're trying to meet human beings and make deals happen. Do you find that it is easier if you have somebody at the enterprise who is willing to step into that role?
Yeah. So, the whole purpose of why one should actually take advantage of their tech stack, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really get in there is if it is set up correctly, then quite honestly, Kelly, while you are out there building those relationships, sitting down with those folks face to face, your database is automatically working for you
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Now,
Yeah.
having someone that, maybe, does work with you on your team, maybe there's someone that jumps in there, helps out with certain things. Yes, absolutely. They can help take those opportunities that are surfacing up in your database, right? They can see them, they can get them flagged, kind of, then just tee that up even more for that loan officer. But again, if you have your tech stack actually set up the right way, then honestly, it's your virtual assistant, right?
Oh
Because
gosh, yeah.
we are doing the work. We are doing the work, and your database is working for you. And that's the whole point, right? I think we all get so wrapped up in the sense that we think we're going to have to log in every day and we're going to have to do all this work, and I'm too busy, I don't have time, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. But if you take just a moment and set everything up the right way, well, then that is what actually allows you more time to do the relationship building and the face to face and the stuff that matters, in person. But all the while, your database is your virtual assistant that's just back there just going like this all the time, right? So,
I mean, well, I still do, I think, but to a certain extent, I certainly used to tell people, if you have a database of 5,000, you'd be stunned at how very little work you'd have to do as long as you have the right systems in place, right? Because if
yep,
you are juggling a lot of plates, right? You're spinning the plates, you're juggling the balls, and you meet a real estate agent right out in the world. Here's my real estate agent. Well, okay, now most people, maybe they get a card, maybe they do a thing, right? But your system should
right,
say, here's this new person, here's what we're going to do, here's what we're going to kick off, here's where we're going to connect with them, here's what we're going to do next. And it's that
right.
level of sort of intuitive coaching, I think, that is missing in most platforms, that is, to your point, not reflecting the needs of the loan officer. Because if a loan officer looks at a platform and says, I have to do all of this, I have to be the one to input this and remember and do and put this on my calendar and do this. If you think about a system like yours growing intuitively, that's, I think, the future of where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. So the data that we have, so when let's say that you are out and about, like you said,
Mhm.
and you meet, Agent Susie, right? And so you now add Agent Susie into your
Mhm.
database. Well, first off, I mean, technology is a great thing, right? I'm there, I go, oh gosh, Susie, yes, let me get your name, right? Give me your digital business card. Do that, right? Now all you have to do, go in, pull her up, right? You can literally pull her up in MMI. So now that you've met Susie, by the way, now you can go back, take 1 second to pull her up in MMI. By the way, you can do it all on your phone, right? I mean, you
Mhm.
can literally do this, right after you meet her. 2 seconds, you pull her up, you see everything on your phone, right? You see all of her FastFX profile. You immediately know right off the bat, was she telling you the truth, for
Mhm.
starters, right? Because we all know that there's some people that really like to make themselves look way better than they are, right? So again, we can validate, okay? But as soon as you pull her up, in the matter of a second, you can push her right to your CRM. One
Mhm.
click of a button, push her to your CRM. Now, again, if your CRM is set up to do that work, it's intuitive enough to pull all the information in, right? We've got all this stuff set up for you. Now, again, I know if you use, the Bonzo piece, we have it all done for you. Now, if you are working with someone that's using any kind of other CRM, does not mean that that CRM is not a good CRM. Again, if your marketing team has set you up and you've got everything kind of ready to go, and there's rules set up behind there if you add someone, the beautiful thing about the MMI piece is, let's say we push Susie over. Now we have what we call production performance scores.
Mhm.
We look at what someone is doing over the course of a rolling 12 months of activity, right? And then we categorize them. Are they unicorns? Are they platinums, diamonds, golds, silvers, right? What that basically is saying, hey, they're doing between this and this, volume in that rolling 12 months of time. In my opinion, the way I'm going to bring value, or the way I'm going to communicate to a unicorn or a platinum, right? Who's a Mac Daddy, right? Is different than how I'm going to communicate with someone that's maybe on that bronze or gold level, right?
Sure.
So again, if my CRM is set up the right way, then when that pushes over, it's going to capture that production performance score. Now, if my CRM is doing the work for me properly, it's going to categorize and put them on the right journey or campaign or whatever it is that your
Mhm.
CRM calls it, right? And then to your point, what is set up to now be sent out to start nourishing and building that relationship. And
Right.
you also said, what's the value, right? We're not just going to reach out to Susie after we meet her and just go, oh my God, great to meet you, and move on, right? I'm going to reach out to Susie, but I'm not really, because all I did was push her 2 seconds on my phone. I
Mm-hmm.
pushed her to my CRM, right? But my CRM, if it's set up right, is now going to turn around and then it's going to send something that is already built for me, but it's bringing immediate value. And so, what am I bringing value wise to them? Again, we need to start thinking about that, because just because you might be fun to meet at a conference doesn't mean they're going to do business with you, right?
I mean, I could talk about this for the next 4 hours because it's one of
Oh,
the things
oh,
I'm
I know.
so tough. Because that's the thing. Like there's a disconnect, and I don't know why. If I knew why, I would be not even on this call. I'd be retired already.
Right.
But there's this strange like thing, right? So if we think about, I'm in sales, someone else is in sales, and this has the potential to be a referral relationship moving forward. You are correct. The very first thing I want to do, it's the same as, look, if I'm on Match trying to find a date and I'm swiping through and I see somebody and I think, hey, this might be a good match, do I run a background check first? Yes, I do. So run a background check on your realtor and say, hey, this person was true. This is how many transactions they're doing each
Mhm.
month. I see here that they work with this person, then this person in lending. And it doesn't mean I got to run those people down. But what do I do that differentiates me from those competitions that I now know specifically who I'm in competition with? And then what is the strategy that I take into this conversation that differentiates me and puts me in a spot where somebody actually is going to listen? Because if I see that they're working with, I'm going to make some stuff up, otherwise I'll get in trouble. But like if I see